Hey, what's going on, good people? It's Gardner Douglas, your oyster ninja. Look at me. Um, Today I got Crystal on here. Crystal, you told me how to say your last name too. Lugo?
Lugo. Yes.
Yes. We got Crystal Lugo on here, and we're gonna be talking about an awesome innovation. I was gonna say invention, but we're gonna say
It
innovate
is.
because she's
It is.
innovating and she's transcending and she's changing the game with her invention. Um, Crystal, I guess a mutual friend kind of put us on the same path, and I'm so
Yeah.
glad that Imani from Minority in Aquaculture, not agriculture, like she said
I
to me
know. I know.
yesterday.
It's so close in resemblance. It's like
Right,
aqua,
right.
aqua.
I'm so glad she set us up and introduced us. Um, how are you, Crystal?
I'm fabulous, Gardner. I'm really super excited to be here, honored, and just ready to get in there and let's get fishy.
Let's get fishy. Let's get fishy. Wow. Yo, so that I feel like that is a proper response
Yeah.
for you to say that, for me to laugh and really a genuine laugh. But it's like when somebody says to me, like, oh shucks,
Right. Right. No
really?
pun intended.
Really do?
Right.
That's the one we're going for.
Right.
um, Crystal,
Yeah.
you've created this tool,
Yes.
useful, very useful tool to help the common household person,
Hmm.
common angler,
Right.
the professional angler,
Right.
um, beginner,
Yeah.
intermediate, expert,
A kid,
a
four or
kid.
more. That's my motto. Four or
Yes,
more.
to help them scale fish.
Yes,
We're gonna leave it there and let that marinate. Crystal, introduce yourself.
absolutely. So, my name is Crystal Lugo. I'm the inventor, designer, and engineer of the one and only glove scaler.
Crystal, you've done this before. You've
A
done
time or
this
two.
before. Yes. That's very Shark Tankish. Very
Hey,
Shark.
I have experience in that too.
So, what was the Black Ambition Prize competition?
Competition, yes. So, great question. So, Pharrell has a nonprofit organization that is really pouring into the underrepresented community, Black and Brown small businesses, you name it, that is doesn't have access to capital because let's keep it a buck. It's hard out there. And so he has this organization that selects up to 250 entrepreneurs to participate in a mentorship program. And so it's a pretty competitive space to get into. And I was selected as one of the 250 semifinalists to get into the mentorship program. And then from there, you connect with industry leaders and just learn business schools. And it's really a hub of networking and collab and really trying to take your business to the next level. So really, really grateful for that. It's a 3 month cohort.
Tell me your story starting with the glove scaler.
Journey back with me 14 years ago. I know, right? It really started from a place of passion, a place of I knew I could do something impactful, but not knowing what or how. Coming from a line of inventors and entrepreneurs, I knew I had that DNA inside of me. And I did a lot of fishing as a kid. And of course, living around a lot of water, what do we do? And then we consume a lot of fish. So, really, my idea was thinking and praying and thinking, like, what could I actually make or do that would resonate with who I am and that resonate with not just some people, but everybody. That's not easy to do. Whether you're starting a business or an invention, it's still not easy to do. So, I'm a woman of faith, and I was praying, praying, praying. And then I had my light bulb moment. And the idea of the glove scaler was shown to me, how impactful and what it would do. And so, how do I take something out of my head to conceptualize it to an individual like you, to articulate what this glove that no one has ever seen before? And so I just started sketching my hand and drew these little jagged things I saw on a glove. And then that's the image I had. And so now it was like, okay, how do I take a picture and actually make it tangible and try it? So I reached out to like maybe 2 or 3 companies, and they said, I'm sorry, I don't know what you're talking about. I can't help you. And then another company was like, it would take $30,000 for us just to even try to make something of this magnitude because we don't know where to begin. And so I felt stuck, but as entrepreneurs, you don't stay in that place, right? So I figured it out. I engineered it, I designed it, had different iterations of it, recorded, I got a fish, recorded myself scaling it, and it worked. It didn't only work well, it worked great. And that has been my story of how I even came up with the idea. And, people have literally bought prototypes that I've made off of my hands to test. And I'm like, I don't know how long it's going to last, but you can, give me feedback. It's been amazing.
It's a awesome story. Like, how has faith been a part of this process? Because I hear you say you prayed on an issue and it was shown to you in a
Yeah.
vision. So
Yep.
talk a little bit about your faith and your upbringing in faith.
This is all I knew. My dad was in the ministry field for ever since I couldn't remember. My dad was also a pastor in Virginia Beach. And so that's all I ever knew was, if you don't know, you go to God in prayer, like the song, right? You go, let's go to God in prayer. So that is something that's instilled, ingrained in my soul. And so faith without works is dead, Garner. So even though I knew I had to do something, being a stay-at-home mom, and that's what I was referring to, being I gave up my career 14 years ago to be a stay-at-home mom, but I was going stir crazy. What else can I do? God, like, I have so much inside of me that the world does not know even exists. But what can I do impactful from home, sacrificing my career? Now, a mom of 5, raising my babies. You got to show me. And I'm not letting go until you bless me. You know the parable or the story.
Right.
And so I did. If people call it a fleece, I called it determination. I said, God, I'm not going to sleep until you give me this idea. And I was just began thinking, how could I improve things that I actually use, not just random things like I use a comb, I cook, I use a blender. So I was just thinking outside the box. How can I improve these items that already exist? As they say, you take an item and you improve upon it. But then it was just like I went to another level that I've never gone before. It's above your subconsciousness. Silence. I don't know if you ever try to stop thinking even when you don't want to think. Your mind doesn't shut off. But I got to a pure place of just a place of genius and another IQ that I've never tapped in before. And that's when I had the vision of what it was, from hands with a grater, grating cheese, and the grater merged onto the face of a glove, and a fish appeared in someone's hands. And I was like, oh my God, like, you literally, we don't have our own thoughts. God deposits ideas. Stuff has already been circulating in the atmosphere. We're just delayed tapping into it, right? And so that's really how, that's not really, that's how I was blessed. That's why I have to say I'm blessed. It wasn't me. I'm not the genius. God's given me this idea. I'm just the executor. And he chose me to do it because I asked.
What was the process like finding somebody could take this to the next level? I know you spoke about they said it would take $30,000 just to get it
Right.
going.
Right. Well, I didn't know where to begin. I just knew I needed a designer and an engineer. So, Dr. Google, just Google companies. How do you take an idea and now you need a prototype? So, prototyping. So they, for whatever reason, you think about a company of a certain magnitude, they have to pay their employees and there's overhead. So they just threw out a number without even really understanding. And again, at that early stage, I wasn't trying to also divulge a lot of information because I was scared they would take it. So I needed to make sure I had my ducks in a row. So that's when I paused for a minute and says, okay, let me now get counsel from legal. So then I went ahead and got my protection in that aspect. So now I can feel free to communicate with companies, do NDAs of what I needed them to do. And I was just keep getting a slam door after slam door. And I said, am I going to fail now because they can't figure it out? And I said, no, I'm going to teach myself how to engineer. I taught myself how to be a chemist. Um, I taught myself how to be a designer, got tools, worked it out, cut, bled, you name it, trying to fabricate this glove of in a vision. Could think I'm crazy or not. I really didn't care because it was so burning inside of me that I had to get it out and actually feel and touch what I saw. And it was an amazing experience. And mind you, I had just had a newborn. So nursing him and then going back to the table, tending to my 3-year old, like it was a lot going on. And one would just say, I don't know how you did it. I only did it by the grace of God, not because and determination and passion and zeal. And so that's just one element. I mean, there's so many. I mean, we could be here for hours. I can go case year by year, case by case. And the biggest thing I get is, well, what took you so long? Well, birthing out 5 kids, nursing all of them, still working on this dream, bootstrapping. How long would it take you? Now, if you had a team of 20, yes, and it still took you that long, there's something wrong. But, you know, and, dealing with intimate family, dynamics. My mom almost died. Like that was like a journey in trying to figure all of this out. Was life doesn't stop, being an entrepreneur.
So are you looking for investors? Are you fully funded? How does that look?
Absolutely. I am looking not only, I'm looking for the right investor,
Mm,
right? And I think that's key. Someone that understands the dynamics of the industry in aquacultural, and in other sectors as well. Like I said, I do want to do big box stores, but our mom and pops, we can't forget about our mom and pop stores. And strategic partnerships, brand ambassadors, looking for influencers, and capital is definitely the driving force, but so is other key players that can help us spread the word. um, and so yes, that's a need. It's a must. It's just choosing the right one. So if anyone's
yeah.
interested, they can contact me too.
What did motherhood teach you about this process?
Mm,
Because you did speak about having 5 kids
yeah,
and the balance of it all.
it's a great question. Time management is important. As a new mom, any mom knows the number one saying is sleep when the baby sleeps. I didn't have that option. I knew that I had to get the baby to sleep or babies to sleep and go to work, because having that uninterrupted time was very important. And being kind to myself and understanding that I'm juggling a mom. I juggled postpartum. And I think having this vision and this job that I had to do kept me sane. It kept me focused. That I couldn't just have the baby blues and feel like, all these hormonal changes that moms go through, right? Like my body looks horrible, or, I can't get any sleep. But just focus on the goal. And I think, of course, have an amazing husband. I can't forget him, that was here, may not understand all of the emotions I was juggling, but was just silent. Because sometimes not saying anything is enough, just being a support. But it has taught me resilience, and it has taught me, and it's impacting my kids too, seeing that you have to put in the work no matter the no's, no matter how many, obstacles. when you see your dream being fulfilled, and the best words that I ever hear in this household is, Mommy, I'm so proud of you. Like, coming from your kids, I get goosebumps. I can start crying. So don't make me cry, Gardner, because I cry every time I think about it. But for your kids to actually look in your face, or my 4-year-old put on my glove scalers and says, can we go fishing today? Like, that's not an everyday life someone can experience. And I'm so blessed that I can say me and my house are experiencing that.
That's awesome. I know exactly how you feel. I know I'm not gonna make you cry or the listeners because, matter of fact, if the listeners, if they're not tingling right now with a little bit of something, come on now, y'all, come on, Oyster Ninja listeners. Um, like, or maybe it's just because I know where you're coming from. But yeah, for that child to look up at you with them big gleamy eyes and let you know that they love you and they're proud of you, and like, and you
Yeah.
know how much you've put into this and how much you've sacrificed, to get this product where it is, and how many no's you had to jump over and how many naysayers you had to slap upside the head and say, no, 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 this is gonna work.
It's
This
going to
is
work.
gonna work. I already know it's gonna work. Why are you even telling me no? Why are you wasting your time and my time? So no, I get it. What was that first feeling like when you finally saw a finished product? It's like I did it. Here it
Yeah.
is.
I mean,
Or here is a portion of I'm almost there.
right. So, and I like to give analogies. So it's like you're in this long line, right? Whether it's the ride, the concert, your favorite artist, whoever, you're standing in this long line and you can't even see the beginning of the line. But you know you're at the end of the line and you're like, oh my goodness. And the line is moving slow, real slow. And you're like, I'm tired of standing. My ankles are done past swollen. I'm hungry. I'm thirsty and I'm aggravated. And then when you finally get to the front of the line and the door opens, and you're just like, I made it. I can finally go in. You're just grateful. You can't even really celebrate because you've been waiting so long and it's been so hard along the way. You're finally like, thank you, Jesus. Like, so it's just, and everyone is coming to you and slapping you on your back, and you're like, how do you feel? And you're like, I don't even know how I feel right now, because all of my energy has been spent to get to this moment. And you ask yourself, is it really okay to celebrate right now? Because you know it's just the beginning.
I like that fire. I like that fire. It's just the beginning. Hold up, player. The door open. I'm here, but it's still just the beginning. I haven't even touched the surface. Y'all ain't
Haven't
seen nothing yet.
haven't even seen nothing yet. And that's why you have to stay composed. You have to have the right mindset. You can't let fame and success get to you, right? Because as quickly as you come, quickly you can fall. And so it's just having an even kill, staying humble, staying grateful, very appreciative, keep yourself balanced, but know that it's just the beginning, and there's more obstacles coming, and you have to already start thinking how you're going to defeat that Goliath, right?
Yeah.
And so that's what I just try to keep myself like, okay, I got here, but I see where this end goal is, and it's out of this world.
Before we talk about end goal, I want to ask you the same thing. How was that feeling when you first got some positive feedback? You saw the look on somebody's face when they use your product. It's like,
Yeah.
oh my God.
Yeah. It was invigorating. And it was like, you want to say, I told y'all so. I told you it
Yes.
would work. Y'all didn't believe me? Say it again. Never in 50 years, this gentleman said, and he's older than I've, of course, been alive, seasoned, veteran, pro, whatever you want to call him, owner of a bait and tackle shop. Never in 50 years have I ever remotely seen a product like this. This is an industry game changer. You're onto something, young lady, and your future is very bright. So it's just like more validation after validation. And Not to mention, we're now a global product in 16 countries, 5 continents, and Garner, they have not even touched the glove. This is just from seeing videos, seeing the testimony, seeing the excitement, the buildup. It's just unbelievable.
So where are we at in the process of the glove? Because I did see on the website it is pre-sale right
Pre-order.
now.
Yes.
Pre-order. So
Mhm.
what does that mean?
So it means to get on the waiting list, because when we do go to production, we'll have a certain amount of units that we're able to produce. And those who put their order in, like the DMV ticket, and say, hey, I already secured my 20 out of that batch. Please give me mine because I pre ordered. And so, first come, first serve. That's what I'm going to say. So, we can't right now produce an endless supply. Everything has a quantity. So, we're trying to build those quantity ups, because when they come in, we are probably already going to be sold out before we even ship it. So, just know that the pre-orders are very important, and that's why we're doing pre-order now or buy now pay later, because we want you to get on the ship with us. Don't worry about money. We know money is tight, but we will invoice you when we have our production date, which we'll be releasing hopefully very soon. We're working expeditiously. So funding is definitely one of the big obstacles that we're working on, and we're going to overcome that. So it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And so that's what we're passionately focusing on, and having the right people and plans in place to get what we need.
So besides pre-ordering, what
Mhm.
can the average Joe right now, what can the Oyster Ninja podcast listeners do to this is the call to action. What can we do to help you?
Spread the word.
Spread it.
Spread the word. Share, like, talk about, highlight, you know, keep this fire going. Continue to pre-order, and let's build this community, because this is a community together we're going to build. Any small and bait and tackle shops, oyster farms, you name it. This glove is just not a glove that can scale fish. This is a multi purposed glove that you're able to use it to shuck oysters. You could go crabbing, lobster, shrimp, you name it. This glove is the ultimate glove to your seafood and fish handling needs. And so, share with your friends. We're looking for people who own marinas. We're looking for individuals who are captains for charter boats. We're looking for chefs. This can be in restaurants. I mean, the sky is the limit. The sky really is the limit. So just get hype about it, and just share how this glove is going to be not only a breakthrough to this fishing and seafood industry, but it's ran and led by a woman minority owned business.
I love that. I love that. Um, Goodness gracious. I think even before Imani told me about you, I think you had followed me, and I
Yes.
saw the testimonial from like the fisherman.
Yeah.
Not even before I saw the testimonial from the fisherman, and I was just looking. I was like, "Duh, duh, this is a no brainer." I was like, "Oh, going to the sky, going to the moon."
Thank you. Thank you.
I mean, for people in the industry, this is kind of like a no brainer. Like
Yeah.
you catch, are you go on a fishing trip, you catch
Yeah.
all of these fish, and then you got to pay somebody to scale it, which is no problem,
Right.
but creating those moments and those memories are very, very important. So now
Exactly.
you get your friends together, y'all get you some beer or some water or some sparkling seltzer,
Some
and you get your
salsa.
gloves out, you get your scalers out, and you just start talking and reminiscing and talk about the day and
Yeah.
scale your fish. And it's so
Yeah.
easy to do.
Easy breezy. It's funny you say that, because I'm getting a lot of testimonies from, or excitement from, individuals who said, I haven't been fishing since I was a kid. And now I am anxious to go to use your glove because now it's easier and I don't have to worry about it. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm like, yeah, I've had on air, I was on Coast Live last year in April, have never scaled a fish. And I wanted her to use it to show the users you don't have to be a pro. You can never have scaled or fished in your life, right? Put on the glove scalers. You know how to comb your hair.
Oh, going to the sky, going to the moon.
Thank you. Thank you.
I mean, for people in the industry, this is kind of like a no-brainer. Like
Yeah.
you catch, or you go on a fishing trip, you catch all of these fish, and then you got to pay somebody to scale it, which is no problem.
Right.
But creating those moments and those memories are very, very important. So now
Exactly.
you get your friends together, y'all get you some beer or some water or some sparkling seltzer,
Some
and you get your
salsa.
gloves out, you get your scalers out, and you just start talking and reminiscing and talk about the day and
Yeah.
scale your fish. And it's so
Yeah.
easy to do.
Easy breezy. You know, it's funny you say that because I'm getting a lot of testimonies from or excitement from individuals who said, I haven't been fishing since I was a kid. And now I am anxious to go to use your glove because now it's easier and I don't have to worry about it. I mean, it was
Yeah.
amazing. And the most important thing is it doesn't damage the fish. We can get really deep into it, but for those who are avid fishermen and women, we know about hard and soft scales, and it takes a lot of pressure to get some scales off of different fish. But the beauty of the glove scaler is you can feel and touch the skin of the fish. Use your fingertips or the palm. If you catch that small spot or that small croaker, but you want to keep it, it's okay. Use your fingertips. People love the fingertips for your smaller fish. Now, if you catch that queen snapper or a salmon, for those who love to catch salmon, same thing. You just swipe back and forth and they come flying off. And it's just, it's a beautiful thing to see when people are smiling to scale a fish. That's not normal. People are like, this is gross. I just cut my hand, but you're actually smiling. I see your 32 teeth. Or how many teeth do you have? I'm seeing your pearlies. It's just really, it's really fun to see and to witness, especially the kids. You know, we really want to come out with the kid version. You know, start with one thing first, do it well, and then you make improvements. And can you imagine seeing like a Disney character glove with a fishing rod? Come on, the sky is
Wow.
the limit. And I
Sky's
say,
the
so
limit.
if Disney is listening, we need to talk. Call me. Okay.
Ooh, come on now. I hope Disney's. Hey, Disney, I need some sponsorship.
Hey,
If
we gotta
Disney is
call these
listening.
things out though, Garner. Listen, this is this is history in the making. We could
Yes.
go back and say, remember when? Remember when? Now look where we are. So
Kashi, remember when?
remember when?
Wow. Wow. So we kind of started breaking into the future with the kid
Yes.
version and Fisher and Rise. What's next?
So what next is continue to expand globally. It's definitely since that has opened up, literally, we're going to really dive into that. We're going on our first trade mission to Australia in spring. We're really excited about that to meet with key distributors. But what I really see the Glove Scaler is a global brand. Everything under the sun. I joke around and say I want to be the next ring. Okay,
Mm.
the next ring. People thought it was crazy. No one ever have a camera on your door. Now, if you look, it's in every single house pretty much. It has created its own community ecosystem, neighborhood watch. It's like huge. So, the Glove Scaler brand is the next ring in the fishing and seafood industry that we meet all of your needs under one umbrella. Apparel, we're going to come out. We started out with our women apparel line. Um, and just the bomb products. I mean, it's going to be lit. And so
Yes.
And not only that, but we are going to be one of the fastest growing woman minority owned business right here in Hampton Roads. We'll be
Love it.
recognized that. And we're just really, really excited to see the expansion and the accolades and having workshop with our communities, and never forget where we come from, because that's important. Don't ever forget where you started from the bottom, because even though you rise, you should never feel like I made it and I arrived. No, you can always do better. And real leaders raise up other leaders. So our motto is to encourage, promote, help other entrepreneurs with their dreams, with inventing, whether from A to Z. I want to help other inventors with their ideas, collaborate, and show up and be active, not disappear on
I
my
feel
yacht.
like this is I feel like this is kind of backwards from the way I usually do episodes, but you've brought it up. Not forgetting where you come from. Um, you said you come from a family of inventors,
Mhm.
creators. Talk about your upbringing a little bit.
Yeah,
Just as a little backstory.
sure. So I come from a very small, intimate family. It was just my brother and I, my mom and dad, and our two dogs that we had, Great Danes. And I grew up in the country in upstate New York. Well, I was born in upstate New York, lived in a very small town up till about 11 before I moved to Virginia. But it was just a humble house, little house on a hill. And there was a humongous pond in our backyard. We had to walk a little ways, but this pond was massive. I don't even know how deep it was, but it was stocked with fish. And so I remember my dad just taking my brother and I back there, um, and letting us just be one with nature. We were really crazy and active. So that was a way for him to say, get out your energy so you can leave me the heck alone. But, we were very, like I told you, a spiritual family. I was very active in karate. My brother and I did a lot of sports, and I was also at a young age the New York State champion. And that being in sports really taught me about discipline, motivation. I was homeschooled for 11 years and went to a small private school, and then graduated and then went on to college. And like I said, I mean, my dad always taught me, never, ever think you can't do anything, you know, especially being a woman. You might have to work harder. You might have to show them you're faster, but don't let nobody stop you. And a no is just means they're not the right one, and you just work hard. And I've always had that mindset. Okay, I just have to work a little harder. I have to work a little faster. I might take more time, but I was just different. I was a different child.
How have you passed any of those lessons down to your kids?
Oh, they probably get annoyed because I talk to them a little too much. Like, you have to work hard for it.
Right.
But, all kids are different. And being a parent, it humbles you, because you can't expect your kid to or act exactly how you acted as a child. So you have to give them that autonomy to be who they are. All you can do as a parent is lead them and guide them. But ultimately, they're the ones, the captain of their ship. They have to figure it out. Like, I made a map and you can follow this map, but if you want to steer your own course, you can do that too. But I'm always here for you to fall back on for the navigation. So, all of my kids are different, with different personalities, different determinations, but they're still young, they're still coming into themselves. And I think when they become to that, almost breaking out of that adolescence to like that mindset of adulthood, I think that's when it will start clicking, and they're going to remember. Remember, we said, remember when? They will
Mm-hmm.
remember all of the tools, all of the teachings, and it's just going to be their light bulb now, not mine. That will click.
Right. Um, how do you think being homeschooled
Mhm.
played on your creativity?
Oh my goodness. I probably say 99% of it played on that creativity. being independent. I was always a hard and diligent student. I mean, I was taught by my mom, but my mom didn't make it easy just because she's my mom. She wanted to make sure I had the best education possible. And she should be very proud of herself seeing where I am now. So thank you, Mom. I know you're crying and saying, oh my goodness, but I love you. Because she was also a stay at home mom, raised my brother and I. My brother is the oldest. I'm the youngest grandchild as well. I have a big extended family. But it taught me to work hard, to stay focused, and um, just think outside the box. Think outside the box. And like I said, I saw my dad being an inventor. He invented something that wasn't on the market yet, something in the healthcare. And I remember traveling with him going to meetings, and my mom and my brother and I would sit in the car, and he would just pitch, even though I didn't see him pitching. But I remember seeing him coming, looking discouraged and bummed, and, they don't get it. They don't see the value, or they want to buy me out. But, and we're talking in the early 90s. We lived in a predominantly, area that wasn't too many of us. I'm just keeping it as it is. But I saw how hard and disappointed he was. But even though he got a patent for it and didn't actually take it to the market, I remember making a promise to myself saying, I want to go further than what my dad did. I want to show him that he didn't have to stop. And this is why. And he instilled that in me. And so now he's proud, like, hey, you went further than me. It's not a disappointment. I'm happy. I'm glad, from the naysayers and the no's and the obstacles. And, he is just so proud. I know he's beaming too. So I love you too, Dad.
They always forget about us, Dad. They always forget about it. We're always second. It's not mom and dad or dad and mom. It's mom and then, oh yeah, dad too. Dad too. Dad too. I guess for somebody, and it's everybody, every listener on this podcast is gonna get them a fish scaler. Where can they get that from? How can they follow
Yeah.
you? How can they follow the journey? How can they reach out if they want to support? And of
Yes.
course, at least buy 100 or more at a time. But yeah.
Absolutely. So you can follow me directly on my website, glovescaler.com, or Instagram as well as glovescaler. And for wholesale, we definitely have wholesale prices too. So definitely send me an email at contact@glovescaler.com. Try to get that glove scaler and everything on my social media. So it's just easier.
Mhm.
But yeah, just follow me, reach out. I'm super easy, to contact. I try to respond expeditiously. Remember, don't forget I'm a mom of five, and a wife, and active in church. So in my time, I definitely respond to all of my requests, and subscribe to the website too, because that's really where we push out our updates of what's next to come. So appreciate it.
I want to thank you for and it's so much more we could talk about. We got to do this again.
Part two.
Um,
Yeah.
but I want to thank you for taking time out of your day and getting fishy with the oyster ninja.
All things fishy. All things fishy. I appreciate it with the ninja.
Yes, yes,
And
yes.
that's appropriate for my karate background, ninja,
Right.
oyster. So yes, thank you.